Welcome. The topic of this video is archiving to ActiveScale Cold Storage using Quantum's CatDV. I'll be going over a few simple steps in the process, from ingesting media assets using CatDV Worker, generating proxies and thumbnails, finally using the web client and Worker, moving or copying these media assets into ActiveScale, eventually being tiered to cold storage. Okay, to start off this process, we're going to walk through a couple of things. We'll walk through a worker action that's in CatDV Worker, and then we'll show the process of moving data from our online storage into our ingest folder. So let's go down here to the bottom, take a quick look at the worker action, ActiveScale Video Watch. Go into there, we'll see our watch folder, and pointing out our watch folder there, analyze the media, and then we'll take that media and we'll move it once it's analyzed into another folder. Then we're going to build a proxy, and there's a folder proxy, and then we're going to set a status of the clip as proxies made, and then we're going to publish to the server, and then we're going to put it in this group, which is called ActiveScale Archiving, that we've created. Okay, let's close this stuff all up and then move on. We should, and then we'll go find us a couple of clips. We'll take these two right here, grab them from our online storage and drag them into the ingest folder where we expect them to start to copying. We're going to speed this up a little bit just so we can show the process getting done. It'll go in there, and now they've been moved from ingest, and they'll go to the media folder, and once they're picked up in the ingest, we'll see the proxies being made. The assets are there now. Proxies are being made, and this should take a little bit of time here. It's not too long, but I did speed it up so we're not sitting there staring at it. Okay, so now we're done with that process. Okay, then let's go to let's stop here, go step over to the web client and go see our catalog inside underneath ActiveScale Archiving, ActiveScale Video, and in Media we see at the bottom we see our two new assets. Okay, let's step into here. So here you have a proxy resolution to playback and panels on the upper right. At this point, we want to get into the ActiveScale user login interface, so we'll pause here and jump over to ActiveScale. All right, for the next portion of this video, what we're going to do is take a look inside of ActiveScale, actually into our account that we're using for this video. As you can see here, we have 4 buckets. Of these 4 buckets, we've created one called ActiveScale Video. So we'll go into there. And then one thing I want to point out here is our object lifecycle. Inside of here, we have some rules as to when and what class of storage to tier to. So the days entry, this determines how many days to leave it on standard before moving to Glacier or cold storage. So for our testing purposes, we set that to 0. This means that within 24 hours, it'll move to Glacier. You can put whatever value you want in there depending on your workflow. Okay. So we are good here. This is really all I wanted to show you. So what we want to do now is just apply, get out. So this is about all we want to review inside of ActiveScale. Let's move on to reviewing our next setup inside of CatDV web client. Okay, back in the web client, we're going to select one of our assets here that we just imported, and we're going to archive this. We'll take this one here. We'll go back over to the Tools menu, or the Tools menu, and in here you have a Managed Archive. We have a Managed StoreNext Archive and Managed ActiveScale. So we have 2 plugins right now for archiving. We're going to step down here to the accounts, and inside the accounts we have two. You can have multiple accounts. We're going to pick the ActiveScale video, and underneath there you'll see we have the bucket ASCS video. Jump back out. We'll take a look at this tools menu one more time, just so we can see the other options in here. We have our jobs queue that we can get to. We can see jobs that we had lined up in here, status of ones that are ongoing. Going back here again, we also have a copy to ActiveScale. We have a move to ActiveScale. We also have restore. We also have purge, and then we have recover. For recover, we'll be looking for the last archive parameters filled in. So these are the functions that we have within ActiveScale plugin. At this point, we'll jump back and we'll go to selecting a couple assets to archive it at the same time. Now that we've gone through the options that are available to us in the ActiveScale plugin, we will jump back here to the catalog, and we're going to grab us a couple of video clips that we're going to take and archive. So we'll go up to the upper right there and do a select, grab this clip here, grab that one, and back to tools. So when we go down there, you can either do a copy or a move, but I think we're going to do a move because we want to be able to see the full res version of this thing go offline. Okay, so we're going to archive. Okay, good. We're going to initiate that. And you can see these other ones right above. They've been archived with a move, and so their full res version is now offline in ActiveScale actually. So at this point, we should go back over to Tools menu. Now we're going down and look at the job queue. And we see our two jobs, and there are two assets, I should say. One job, two assets. The first one's completed, it looks like. Got a little bit of a timeout on the one, but I suspect that it'll just do a retry, and we should be good to go. We'll jump back over here to the thing, and we'll do a refresh on that catalog. And my guess, it's going to be done already. So yes, they've both been moved. The job should be complete, and they are. So what you see is the last two assets. You see the full res version of that asset is now completely removed, and all you have left is the proxy. Now we want to just verify that the assets are actually in ActiveScale. So we open up a S3 browser. This is what I use. CyberDuck, same thing. We'll do a refresh here on the bucket, and we'll just show that the two new assets at the very top. And of course, you see that they're there, and they are also in storage class standard where they originally get dropped. And these are other assets that we have inside that catalog that have been moved to Glacier within that 24-hour period. So, and we'll just drop back over here to the web client. We're done with that. Okay, next step in our process is actually do a restore. I did one just earlier, just so we can kind of get a timing of what that is going to be, and it looks like, look down here, about 5 minutes. So it'll take us about 5 minutes to get back from Glacier on this. So let's go back into the catalog. Let's go ahead and select the next couple assets, and we'll do those two at a time. Let's go select. Oh, sorry. Let's go select. Pick one, pick two, and then go back to the Tools menu and drop down to Restore. So we restore it. It should get the same kind of feedback that initiated transfer of two files. Click back there. Let's go back to the job queue and just take a look at the job queue here. And you notice that the priority is normal. Well, I'm going to kick it up a little bit just on those last two, just to stay in line with the one I did earlier. So they're both highest priority, and then we'll just sit back and wait and see time-wise how long that's going to be. I anticipate, like the others, it'll be about 5 minutes altogether. In the meantime, well, it looks like we have one that's success already. It looks like the other one's going to give it a little try here. So we'll just kind of keep doing a little refresh. Close this guy out. Let's get back into the catalog again. I'll do a refresh on the catalog, see if we've got our assets back. And we do. There you go, 1 and 2. So altogether, it's about 5 minutes for these smallish assets coming back from Glacier on a typical restore. And then we click over here to the ActiveScale panel, and you can see some information that shows in there. Click back to S3 browser. Once again, we'll do a refresh, make sure our assets are still there. And they are. They're still there in Glacier. And what we've done is just moved or copied the assets out of Glacier back to storage, ActiveScale storage, and then back into the library. Okay, final phase of our process here is we're going to use the worker action actually to archive our assets as we ingest them. So we'll want to go in and take a look at our config file. By doing this, we'll go down and take a look at our ASCS video watch that we were using before, and everything pretty much stays the same. We're going to still drop it in the same catalog, but what I want to do here is I want to set the status to archive to ActiveScale. What that's going to do is going to trigger, once assets come in, to automatically archive, and this time we're going to do a copy instead of a move because we want to keep the full and the proxies online. So we'll come in here. This pretty much just does a server query. This tells you what this is pretty much all default, copy to archive storage. Once we get done with that, though, we do want to change the status of that clip. Will once again be archived now to ActiveScale. So we'll set that value in there in that field and then publish back to the catalog. So that's that for there. So we'll close all this out. And then what we'll want to do is to come over here and make sure that you have your managed service. You're going to have a default account that you're going to use. And so what we want to do is our default account is going to be our ActiveScale video account, so that we force it into that catalog that we want it to, and into the bucket, I should say, put it in the bucket we want. So just come in here, set your default, and it's all good to go. Everything stays the same. We'll step back out of there, and then we'll go find us a couple of clips. We'll take these two right here, grab them from our online storage, and just drag them into our ingest. So none of this has changed. The only thing that's going to change is the process by which we ingest and archive. Now what we're going to do is wait for the worker to pick up those assets. And in here you'll see a little bit of a speed up because it took a little while, but as you can tell, assets got ingested. They went through the process of getting ingested, proxies, thumbnails, and then sent out to ActiveScale. And so these are our two assets here at the bottom. You'll see they both got full res and they got the proxy. Let's go back up to our ActiveScale job queue. So that's all complete. Everything is there. So we did copies, as you can tell. Yes. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll click on one of the assets just so we can see the status of the ActiveScale information on the ActiveScale panels. So we'll come up here, click on ActiveScale, and so this is one of the recent assets, and as you can tell, it dropped it right into the ASCS video bucket. And we'll come down here, take a look at the log notes, and we'll look at the status, and the status now says archive to ActiveScale. So you can do this either in the web client, or you can do it with our worker action and do the same process through a number of different libraries folders. Well, there you have it. We've reviewed the process of archiving assets from CatDV to ActiveScale. First using the web client, then restoring some of these assets from ActiveScale Cold Storage. We then went through the process of using the worker with a couple of worker actions to show the ability of the worker to pick up media and process that media, then archive to ActiveScale automatically. The worker can be customized for each and every workflow. If you would like to understand a bit more about archiving to ActiveScale, contact your account representative. Thank you.